Right now, we're going to have a look at another issue of ethics, but this time it's all about confidentiality. So, obviously, we're talking about the confidentiality of our clients' information. And generally, the rule is you just don't disclose it because you've got to be confidential, you've got to be ethical. You would have to disclose it, though, if you had a legal or professional duty to do so, or the client authorises disclosure. So, a legal duty would be when the law forces you to do it, the law compels it. Professional duty more when you voluntarily do it because you think it's in the public interest. Okay, they're the general rules, but the overriding one is that you don't disclose. Let's have a look at a December 24 question then, where you've got a journalist and he's asking us to give comment on our client's history of compliance with the law. So again, there is an outsider asking for us to be not confidential. So it says, what should you do? Should you disclose the information to the journalist because it's in the public interest? Well, you would if you deemed it was in the public interest, but this probably isn't in the public interest, particularly if you read the story a bit more. So that's the closest one, but no, because it wasn't in the best public interest. Would you disclose it because a journalist has statutory powers to require it? Well, no, a journalist wouldn't have statutory powers, would they? Would you not disclose because to do so would be a breach of the professional confidence? That sounds right. And let's just check that the last one's wrong. We should not disclose because it's likely to be immaterial. Well, that's wrong because materiality doesn't really apply to disclosures, to confidentiality. It doesn't matter what the amount is. If someone's breaking the law, for example, they're breaking the law, so it automatically would become material. One thing that we've now got on accountancy for you to go and have a look at is some rules on this confidentiality that you can view if you're an accountancy member. So here are those notes. General rule of confidentiality, don't disclose unless you've got a legal and professional duty to do so, or if the client authorises it. Okay. There are exemptions to that when the law compels it. We know about that, don't we? Okay, or non-compliance with the law, same thing really. Or it could be voluntary disclosure when it's in the public interest, when that's at risk. Or even if we're protecting our own interest, if we're defending ourselves against legal claims. Okay, and then I've given you some key exam scenarios, some safeguards and documentation, and some common exam pitfalls. Okay, hope it's helpful.